My RLCraft series is going to continue on. I'm going to upload a new episode every Thursday. I actually have a few episodes already recorded, edited, ready to go. So this Thursday there's going to be episode 2 up on the channel. I just thought it would be fun to play one of my other favorite games, Subnautica. Every Tuesday will be an episode of Subnautica. Every Thursday will be RLCraft. For now, all I know is I have had a ton of fun recording and editing RLCraft thus far. This is going to be more of a walkthrough. Anyways, I am going to play this on hardcore mode just for a little bit of extra spice for myself. I'm going to take this slow and kind of explain what I'm doing and what to do and what everything is as we go along. Let's jump in.
Attention. Hull failure imminent. All personnel abandon ship. Launch in 3, 2, 1.
That was easy. Alright. Here's our tablet that we have on us at all times. See, we got the inventory tab. There's blueprints that'll tell us what we can create. The beacons, it'll show us where things are, so we can turn on and off beacons. Photo manager, you can take photos. The voice log, if you're playing the game and you aren't paying attention, you miss something that somebody said, just come back to the voice log, listen to it again. There's the data bank, which right now is pretty empty. I mean, it shows you the base things that you're going to be seeing in your own fabricator, which is basically like your crafting bench. That's really all you have right now in your data bank, is the knowledge that's on your ship. You know nothing about where you are, what's going on. Here's your equipment. Right now I've got none. This right here is my storage in this pod. I can store this many items. This is my inventory. This is how many items I can carry. This right here is the medkit fabricator. You see it says 1% right now. I opened it up and took the medkit out of it. I can use this to repair myself. I'm at 81 right now. I'll use it just to show. Now it's gone from 1% to 5%. So what it's doing right now is it is automatically making a new medkit. Once that reaches 100%, you can come back, click on it, pick up a new medkit, which is pretty cool. You got infinite medkits in this game for free. And then here's the fabricator. So I'm going to open this up. It's saying that to craft titanium, you get 4 titanium with a metal salvage. So if you go find metal salvage, bring it back here, put it in your fabricator, you can craft it into 4 titanium. You can craft a titanium ingot out of 10 titanium. You can craft 2 silicon rubber with creepvine seed cluster. You can craft glass out of 2 quartz. You can craft bleach out of a salt deposit and coral tube samples. Copper wire, that's 2 copper ore. Battery, 2 acid mushroom and a copper ore. We got computer chip, we got wiring kit. We've got the sustenance tab. Disinfected water, we can get 2 of those with bleach. We've got equipment and tools. A standard O2 tank. That sounds like something that would be very useful. So that only requires 3 titanium. Fins, that'll enhance our swim speed by 15%. That requires 2 silicon rubber. First aid kit, fiber mesh. You know what? You really don't need to learn how to make a first aid kit. This is an infinite source of first aid. Fire extinguisher, that's another thing. You don't really need to make one. This fire that happened right here, it's gonna be the only fire you're gonna have to deal with in the early game. The next point in the game that you get to where there's gonna be fire, you don't even need to bring this fire extinguisher with you. You will find fire extinguishers there at the fire that you can pick up and use. So really there's never going to be a point that I can imagine where you're going to need to create a fire extinguisher. The floating air pump and the pipe. Essentially how this works, you create a floating air pump, you put it on the surface of the water, and then you attach a pipe to it. You attach another pipe to the end of that. You can go further down, you can go to the left, to the right, you can position the pipes however you want them while you're replacing them. The last pipe at the end of the line will always be spewing out some oxygen. So as long as you're swimming right next to that last pipe, you'll be breathing. You can just create a deep layer of pipes that go through caves and stuff so that you can safely travel through caves and explore without having to worry about running out of oxygen. So we got the Tools tab. Now these are important as well. You have the Scanner. So that Blueprint tab that I was talking about, this is showing everything that was right there in the Fabricator. Everything that's base pieces and below is not in the Fabricator. You need to build a habitat tool in order to see these craftable items. The Scanner, if you scan pieces of debris from wreckages, you will add to the blueprints. You will add new things that you can craft. The Repair tool, we need that Repair tool for the damaged secondary systems and for the damaged radio. We got the Flashlight, Survival Knife, Silicon Rubber and Titanium. Flare, so to be honest, you don't need a flare. You can outrun any of the early game aggressive fish, and by the time you get to the later game aggressive fish, you'll have new equipment and new vehicles to be able to outrun them as well. You'll be fine. Habitat Builder, this is used to build a base because we don't want to just live here in this pod forever. The last thing is the waterproof locker. So if you run out of storage in your storage container, if this is all full and your inventory is getting pretty full, then you can just make a waterproof locker and you drop that in the water and it floats and you can fill it up. And they're pretty cheap. So let's take a look at this world. I'm going to climb the ladder first. Oh, so pretty. So there's your ship. They call it the Aurora.
The Aurora suffered orbital hull failure. Cause unknown. 0 human life signs detected.
You escaped in your escape pod. It looks like it crashed into the same planet that you crashed into, and it looks like you're stuck out in the ocean. Luckily, you wore your scuba suit. So, the first thing I'm concerned with, my hunger meter is plummeting. As you can see, there are fish swimming all around here. And out of all the common fish, I'll tell you that the peeper, the one I'm holding right now, it provides the most sustenance. So you can just click on your fabricator, go straight to the sustenance, cooked food, cooked peeper. Ooh, I'm down to 1. This gives you 32. Ooh, I just took damage because I went down to 0 food. So I quickly ate. But it gives you 32 food, and it gives you 5 water. Eating cooked fish, not going to be a great source of water. So we have to go find water now. It's this pink fish right here. It's called a bladderfish. So you can turn it into water. The water that it creates is only good for 20 points on your water meter. It's not the best water source in the game, but it's fine at the start. As you'll see on my screen, this is creepvine. Now, if you'll remember correctly, that silicon rubber required creepvine clusters. So I'm actually going to grab a couple of these and bring them back to my ship right now and show you that first craftable thing while I'm making my water. I'm going to go to water and make filtered water. If I come to my basic materials here, I have 2 recipes. We have lubricant, which we didn't see as part of any of the recipes that we currently have available to us. And then we have silicon rubber, which is in multiple recipes. So I'm going to turn both of these into silicone rubber for now. It's the fins. I can create fins. When you create the fins, they automatically get placed in your equipment. So now that we know a little bit about the fish and how to feed ourselves and our surroundings, which is nothing but open ocean everywhere we look, let's start diving into some of the materials we're going to be needing. These are acid mushrooms. We need these, 2 of these, to make batteries. Something that you might not even notice right away is this right here. It's an outcrop. This one is a limestone outcrop. If you break this, you could get titanium, or you might get a different material. Here's that metal salvage that we saw. Some of the other things that we saw that we might need are cave sulfur and quartz and copper. So let's go looking around to see if we can find some of that stuff. Okay, that noise and this guy, that's a fish that will swim directly at you and blow up in your face. And that you should swim far away from him as soon as you see him. So I'm going to break another one of these limestones. Ooh, that time I got a copper out of that. Excellent. Anyways, the explodey guys, I forget what their names are, they come from these little pods, and if you go back to their pod, you can collect the cave sulfur that they are guarding. So let's come back and see what we can make. If you build this standard O2 tank, which only costs a few titanium, immediately your oxygen level goes up to 75. If you back out of your menu, go back in, now you've got a new recipe. Now that you've created the standard oxygen tank, it's telling you how to make a high capacity oxygen tank. That we're going to need some glass and some silver for. I'm going to make this repair tool. It only costs 1 rubber, 1 cave sulfur, 1 titanium. That's pretty cheap, and I happen to have all those things. I've got enough rubber left over and titanium that I might as well make the survival knife as well. So I'm going to repair this panel right here, and let's see what happens. Well, this power cell just came online, and the lights came on. That's pretty cool. Now there's one other thing left in your pod to repair, and that's the radio. I'm going to play this message. Anytime you have a blinking red light on your radio when you come back to your pod, that means you have a new message.
Continue to monitor for emergency transmissions from other life pods.
So it's looking for transmissions from other life pods that came from the Aurora, which kind of indicates that you might not be the only survivor. Now I'm going to come back here to electronics, and I only got 1 copper ore so far, but I'm going to turn it into a battery. I immediately got a new blueprint once I made the battery. Here it is. It requires 2 batteries and a silicone rubber. But let's see what I can do now. Ooh, now that I've made a battery, I can make my scanner, which is going to be one of the more useful tools, especially in the early game. Like early and mid game, you need that scanner, because it is the way to get most of the new blueprints. I can scan the sulfur plant. I can scan this giant coral tube. I can scan this sandstone chunk. Ooh, this is exciting. I'm gonna break the sandstone chunk, and I got gold. Very cool. Oh, and I got silver. I'll scan just, you know, some random things. You don't have to scan, like, everything. You can scan just about everything, but you don't have to scan everything. Really, the biggest thing you need to scan when you find pieces of wreckage on the ocean floor. But for now, I'm just going to scan some fish to show you kind of how the scanning works, and it can help you out. Now that I've gone around and scanned plants and fish that surround our pod, there was those outcroppings that we saw. The limestone one and the sandstone one. This will give you just a quick little description of each, but what you really want to focus on is right here, the assessment. The limestone outcroppings, they are a source for titanium and copper. Sandstone outcroppings, if you break those, they're a source for lead, silver, and gold. Giant coral tube, what is this used for? Coral tube samples are rich in calcium, exploitable in bleach fabrication. Here's another plant that I found, exploitable in computer chip fabrication. Now let's check out some of the fish. The rabbit ray. And this symbol just popped up. This means that I have a new radio message. I'll get to that radio message in a little bit. But the assessment for this rabbit ray is inedible but harmless. You can kill this with a knife. There's no point to it. You can't put this in your inventory because you can't cook it, you can't eat it. Now the small herbivores, these you can all pick up with your hands. Put them directly in your inventory. Assessment, edible. Garyfish, assessment, edible. The peeper, assessment, edible, high calorie count. Acid mushrooms, assessment, inedible, but has application in battery fabrication. We made some batteries with those already. Sulfur plant, sulfur has applications in construction of the repair tool. We've got a blue palm. This doesn't even give us an assessment at all. Essentially, most of the plants in this game aren't going to be worth much to you. Later on, we could use it as biofuel in a base if we build a base with our habitat builder. You don't need to collect everything you see. That's where the scanner comes in handy. Scan something, check it out in the data logs, find out the assessment for it, if you're gonna want to collect it or not. Let's come over to the radio. We got another blinking message. Let's see.
This is LifePod 3 uploading our coordinates. We're plugging some holes in our emergency sea glide, so if we're late for the rendezvous, don't panic. Also, don't go home without us. Seriously. 3 out.
Signal location uploaded to PDA.
Well, that sounds promising. That was a human voice. They came from a life pod off of the Aurora, the ship that we came from, and they have a signal. They're 700 meters that way. That's pretty far. Let's be honest. I think we're going to need a few more tools if we're going to go after Life Pod 3. There's a bladderfish. Although this wouldn't be a bad time to discuss potentially better sources of water. So here's coral tube, which we scanned earlier. If you hit it with your knife, you get pieces of coral tube, which is cool. This is a salt deposit. So if we pick up these, and they'll be just scattered randomly throughout the sea floor. So while I'm looking for salt, I've come across this. It's a creature egg. I'm gonna pick it up and show it to you. Ooh. Also, I just hit this poisonous cloud. So these guys are called gas pods. They're not aggressive. They're not super deadly. But if you get too close to them, they will emit gas from their backs. And that can be poisonous, so you'll want to swim away from that gas. So let's take a look at this creature egg real quick. Takes up 4 slots in my inventory. An unidentified egg. Here's the thing that you have to know about creature eggs. Get rid of it. Honestly, there's no use for it right now. It's just going to take up space in your inventory. Don't collect these. Don't just stick them in your storage slots. You'll be building a million storage containers for them. Right now, don't worry about them. Forget them. Just keep on moving on. For now, I'm going to check this out. We only managed to find 1 salt. But let's check our basic materials. With that 1 salt, we can make 1 bleach. I'm also going to make glass using the quartz I found. If we now go into our sustenance and our water, we can make 2 disinfected water out of 1 bleach. They give you 30 water. The trouble is finding the salt. So it's a little bit harder to get the good water, but it can be worth it.
Emergency. A quantum detonation has occurred in the Aurora's drive core. The reactor will reach a supercritical state.
It's on fire now.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2.
Explosion! Well, that can't be good. That was wild, huh? So now, you get the blueprint for a radiation suit. If you get much closer to the Aurora than this, if you start swimming in that direction, you will start to take radiation damage. That's where the radiation suit comes in handy. If you wear a full radiation suit, you will be immune to radiation. So let's check that out real fast. That requires 2 fiber mesh and 2 lead. Let's start by coming back to this creepvine forest real quick. If you take your knife out and you hit it, you get 1 creepvine sample. Now we've got a new blueprint. That blueprint is fiber mesh. Hey, we needed that fiber mesh to make the suit, but you need 2 creepvine samples to get 1 fiber mesh. Let's grab like 4 samples for now. These guys are stalkers. You don't want to be doing what I'm doing, which is getting really close. I'm just, you know, for science, scanning these guys. They've got sharp teeth, as you can see on the left there. They're kind of like little baby sharks or something. And they will come at you and they will bite you if you get too close. Ooh. They also pick up this metal salvage, which we know turns into titanium. But when they do pick up the metal salvage, sometimes they drop this, which is a stalker tooth. If you see them drop a stalker tooth, grab it, go stick it in your inventory. It'll be good later on. We'll probably get to that in a couple episodes. When you go into a creepvine forest, watch out for the stalkers. We needed 2 fiber mesh, which I made, and 2 lead. We can find lead in the sandstone outcrops. This right here, though, we've passed it a bunch. It's a little cargo crate. You will find these on the ground. And this is pretty close to the thing. The ones that are nearby, like I think I mentioned before, they have mobile vehicle bay fragments, or they have sea glide fragments. I scanned that one. I've got 1 out of 3, 33%. So I need to scan 2 more of those, and I will get a new blueprint for that. Is collecting blueprints. See, I just found another one. Now I'm 2/3 of the way. So I'm just gonna actually look around for those crates at the moment, while we're also looking for sandstone outcrops, which, hey, here's one right here. Ooh, it's a lead. Perfect. Oh, here's another sandstone. Oh, and it's another lead. Perfect. Beautiful. Ooh, let's check out this limestone. Ooh, a copper. Not bad. Oh yeah, plenty of quartz here, but there might also be exploding guys, so I'm a little cautious as I explore deeper, collecting more quartz. Ah, we found another crate down here. This one's got a sea glide fragment. Perfect. 1 out of 2 there, and 2 out of 3 on the mobile vehicle bay. I'm gonna make some glass. And then I'm gonna come here and unequip my standard O2 tank. I'm also gonna need to have a battery ready to go, so I can get this flashlight. But I've got 2 glass from before. I got my 4 titanium, and I've got a silver ore. Turn it into the next level O2 tank. Now we're up to 135. We are moving along quite nicely. Last thing we need to make right now is radiation suit. Grab those 2 fiber mesh. Building myself a radiation suit. Keeping myself protected. So now if we tab up, we see we have a radiation helmet, we have a radiation suit, we have radiation gloves. We are now fully protected from radiation. And that's going to be the end of episode 1. Thanks for watching this walkthrough that I'm doing. In the next episode, we're going to work on getting these two recipes, the Sea Glide and the mobile vehicle bay. We're almost done. We're also going to go check out Life Pod 3, 703 meters away, and really just take our time and have fun playing Subnautica. Thanks for joining me. I will see you next time. Peace out.